Hey, Mr. Ryan. Hey, Mr. Ryan. Hey, how's it going? Hey, this is Ben. Listen, I'm contacting you now via my channel because I have some questions about how American citizens, such as myself, ought to speak about certain subjects. I noticed that you are the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States. And therefore, I assume that in addition to being the House's presiding officer, leading of the body's majority party, and the institution's administrative head, I had assumed you were also our nation's preeminent professional on speaking. And so that is why I am contacting you. When I say speaking, how we talk, what words we use, vocabulary, things like that. I've been having a little bit of a problem with the Manhattan media. You know what I'm talking about? The major news channels, right? Fox News, CNN, NBC, NSB, blah blah blah. And that's one of the reasons why I started my own news channel is because I get so annoyed watching these people on the major news networks because it seems like they're not talking about the important stuff that's going on, and it seems wrong because there are people with different viewpoints, right? And right now the country is being hierarchically managed, and it frankly annoys me because I myself I happen to be kind of I think that for me I think that democracy is the foundation of America, right? And to have this sort of hierarchically, managed thing that's going on, and it doesn't seem right to me, Mr. Speaker. It really doesn't. And so I don't know. So this is kind of a bit of a ramble, but it's like, hey, I'm not getting any YouTube video views anyway. So, this is just kind of my ongoing, thought process here. But anyway, so let's see. I prepared some remarks here, or I prepared some notes in anticipation of this phone call. So let's see what am I. Okay, so the central problem I'm talking about right now is the Manhattan media. Okay, and the problem is this is how I see things. One of the problems that we have in America right now is the Manhattan media is tongue tied. Okay, the Manhattan media is tongue tied, and that is what I believe is one of the problems. Because when I turn on the news, when I turn on the news and they're talking about, this, that, and other stuff, and everything is like, everything on the news it's sort of like innuendo, right? Or it's just like, say, with the Russian thing, right? We talking about the Russian thing going on and on. It's like, how is this still in the news? It's like, what's the problem? It's like, what was it? It's like some people from the Pentagon got their email accounts hacked into. Is that what the problem is? Like, John Brennan's email account was compromised. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand. Or it's just like I don't get I don't understand what it is that's going on, and it's annoying to me. And because it seems like there's all these real problems that the Americans are facing. And one of these problems is NSA, right? The National Security Agency. NSA has technologies that completely violate all our assumptions about privacy, about civil rights, about civil liberties, about democracy. And NSA is continuing to play a game where they've got a bunch of people under mind control, essentially. And I don't mean to alarm anyone, but I can tell that a lot of the politicians or a lot of the public figures are under NSA mind control, right? How can I tell? Because the people of NSA, they'll put thoughts in your head, and there'll be little word riddles that you won't recognize until you've already said them, which they do to me frequently. It just seems like the thought control problem in America, NSA, it seems like it's a serious problem because the foundation of America is democracy. Okay? Now, it would be different if we lived in a different country And we weren't all brought up being taught that democracy is the foundation of our country, that our country is a democracy. And then so, well, it's like, why did even from the revolution, why did the revolution take place? The American Revolution. Because of the tyranny of England, because we didn't like to be managed by the tyrants of England. And right now we've got a new set of tyrants, and they're the cyber people. These cyber people are tyrants, and they're doing stuff to people, and it's I don't know. I really think that we need to start talking about the tyrants in our culture. But one of the reasons why it's difficult to do that, or here's my theory. Here's my theory about why the people of the Manhattan media seem to be so tongue-tied. Well, there's a couple theories. I mean, it's possible that they're so tongue-tied because they like the status quo, right? That is possible, you know. They like the status quo. I mean, they're willing to give up, you know, some of their self-autonomy, some of their freedoms in order to be wealthy and successful, right? That's a possibility. But what about those of us who believe in freedom, who believe in you know, in democracy, who don't want to live under the cyber tyranny of Mike Rogers and his cronies down at NSA in the Pentagon? You know, and so it seems like, so getting back to this problem with the Manhattan media, all right, it seems like they want to talk about NSA in some fashion, and maybe they're getting ready to. I don't really know, but it seems like, how did these people become so tongue-tied? What's the problem? A lot of it has to do with the terrorist attacks of September 11th, and the problem is this: that when we start talking about NSA, right? What are the capabilities of NSA? All right, NSA has the entire East Coast under heavy surveillance. I mean heavy surveillance, where they can, not only can they see into your homes, not only can they see into your cars, but they can also control your minds. They're completely invading our privacy, you know, and they're playing a game with the citizens of the East Coast, and nobody's talking about it, and it's just, you know, it's absurd. You know, it's absurd that nobody's talking about this, because I don't know. So what are we talking about? Oh yeah, so how do we begin talking about NSA when we've kind of got a problem? Because we all talk about September 11th, the attacks of September 11th, a certain way, all right? The 9/11 Commission published their report, everyone accepted that report, and we've decided to move on from there. So we don't need to talk about 9/11 anymore, but we do need to talk about NSA and the fact that they're violating our notions of democracy, our notions of civil liberties, etc., etc. So, yeah, I don't know. Those are just, anyway, I got some stuff I got to do, so I just wanted to, you know, give you a call and let you know what I'm working on, kind of the direction I'm going with this thing. So, yeah, all right, talk to you later. Bye.